136. What does this number mean? I'm referring to the amount of mass shootings that happened in the first 164 days of this year alone. 136 mass shootings in 164 days. This is according to an article titled A Visual Guide, Mass Shootings in America, written by A.J. Willingham on CNN.com on June 21st, 2016. This is a problem. My name is Vincent Lowry, and I'm here to urge you to join me in the fight to pass an already proposed bill, Senate Amendment 4750. This fight will be to keep the guns out of hands of likely criminals and those who want them for the wrong reasons. Since the Orlando shooting, I decided to educate myself on what really is happening in our country with guns. I read every single article I could come across, and that's why I'm credible to speak about this. This already proposed amendment will help criminals and mentally ill citizens from getting around the already required background checks. Today, I will first talk about how serious the issue of guns are in our country. Second, I will explain what Senate Amendment 4750 is and what it will do. And third, I will explain how this will benefit our country in the long run. First, I will explain what is happening with guns today. The article, A Visual Guide, Mass Shootings in America, states that from 1966 to 2012, nearly one-third of the world's mass shootings took place in the United States. It surveyed 292 incidents and found that 90 of them alone happened in the United States. Put another way, while the United States has 5% of the world's population, it had 31% of all of its public mass shootings. Many people may take this statistic in many different ways, but one way I hope we all take it is that this is a problem, point blank, period. We don't just have one gun problem here, we have several. According to the video, America's Gun Problem Explained in 18 charts, posted by Vox onto their website on September 28, 2016, they said that altogether, the number of gun deaths in the United States from 2000 to 2013 exceeds the number of Americans killed by AIDS, by illegal drug overdoses, the Iraq and Afghanistan wars, and terrorism combined. But it's not just homicides that are the issue here. In fact, suicide accounts for more of the daily deaths by guns every day. According to Gun Violence by the Numbers, an article written on everytownresearch.org in 2014, data from the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention show that on an average day, 91 Americans are killed with guns. Of these 91 deaths, the Vox video states that 58 can be accounted for because of suicide. Now, most people would argue, okay, so if we take away guns, people will still find ways to end their lives, but this could not be farther from the truth. Because studies in the past have shown that places with more guns have higher homicide and suicide rates. When we looked at, the United States has the highest homicide rate of any other developed country. According to an article, Gun Violence by the Numbers, America's gun homicide rate is more than 25 times the average of other high-income countries. And we have a suicide rate that also ranks among the top. This is because crime and suicide here in America are more lethal because of the lack of laws regarding guns. Now that I have told you what America's gun problem is, I will tell you my second main point, how to fix this problem. Second, my plan for this gun problem in America is quite simple. We need to get our senators and legislatures to pass an already proposed amendment, Senate Amendment 4750. The passing of this amendment will help in the decrease of homicide and suicide rates in our country. What is the bill exactly? In an article written about the amendment by Amber Phillips on June 20th, 2016 on the Washington Post's website, Phillips states that the bill requires that a federal background check be conducted before every gun in the United States, period. What will the bill change? So, there was a law created in the 90s, and it states that a background check be required before every gun is bought from a federally licensed gun dealer. So that means if I wanted to buy a gun and I decided to buy it online from a friend or from a gun show, I wouldn't have to have a background check because I'm not buying the gun from a federally licensed gun dealership. So the amendment will be added to this law created in the 90s to stop people from getting around the background checks. And that is why we need to push our legislatures to pass Senate Amendment 4750 to close the gun show and online loopholes. Now that I have told you how we can solve this problem, I will now move on to my third main point, visualizing the benefits of passing the law. Third, let me start off by telling you how similar actions have benefited in Australia. In 1996, in Australia, a man walked into a cafe, proceeded to eat lunch, reached into his bag and pulled out a semi-automatic rifle and started shooting the rest of the people in the cafe, killing 35, wounding 23. Australia decided to take action because this was the worst massacre their country had ever seen. So they decided to ban certain types of guns, and they decided to re-buy these guns back from the owners. And they made it required that in order to own a gun, you have to have a permit. And because of this, they were able to keep track of all the guns in their country. And the results of this were jaw-dropping. In the article, America's Gun Problem Explained, written by German Lopez on Vox.com on September 28, 2016, Australia's firearm homicide rate dropped by about 42% in the 7 years after the law passed, and its firearm suicide rate fell by 57%. Now, even though the amendment I say we pass is not as severe of action as Australia took, I do believe that it can still have similar benefits, and we will never know until we give it a try. Now, I want you all to close your eyes and imagine a world where we can have a Second Amendment and we can have gun restrictions. This can be attained by the passing of Senate Amendment 4750. Because when passing this, we will be able to keep guns out of the hands of those who want them for the wrong reasons and keep them in the hands of those who should have them. This will bring down crime rates dramatically, and with the passing of Senate Amendment 4750, we can bring down the amount of public mass shootings from 136 and 164 days down to digits as low as single. To conclude, today I have explained to you the many problems America has with guns. I have told you the horrifying facts about gun in American society, the importance of enacting Senate Amendment 4750, and how similar plans have benefited other countries like Australia and how the amendment can benefit us. So please everyone, I am urging you all to take off the rose-colored glasses that we have had on for so long and see these public mass shootings happening on a daily basis for what they really are. 49 people were killed in Orlando, our country's deadliest mass shooting it has ever seen. But what most people don't know is in the week that followed, 228 more people were killed by gun violence. How many more people have to be killed in our country for everyone to wake up and see the light? In the next hour alone, 4 more people will be killed by gun violence. This is why I urge you to call our Kansas State Senator, Jerry Moran, using the number 202-224-6251, and tell him to readdress and vote for Senate Amendment 4750 and pass it. Thank you.